Greetings and salutations and welcome back to, I forgot to check the session number, but to the latest session of the Mastered Smalls. Joining us per usual is Shavot.
Where we are about to have Kuhl Theory Level 3.
Layla is screaming and she don't know why. We have ourselves a Yeozwah.
I'm not sure what's going on, but I know I'm going to cause problems.
What else is new? And join us with whoever they're going to bring is JKLantern.
Giving you a bowl of dog kibble that will turn into butterflies, I have.
Okay, we're doing all the recipes to invade you.
Do we have to? It's going to be a very long day at work.
We'll see how the session goes. Honestly, that is not the plan. I have enough chaos planned as it is.
20 orders of Cajun fries.
Minus the Cajun.
Yeah, that happened yesterday.
With mango.
Kikyo's turned up.
I would say mango would not be that bad with fries.
Yeah, sweet and salty.
So let's just say it's been a while since we last was with the Smalls. Since their very interesting encounter with Percy at the Lord and Lady Orphanage. For how that's left, folks. You folks may have noticed that we're missing one usual member, and well, sadly, life happens. Plans get changed, all that fun stuff.
Yuki is off doing research at the moment.
Yuki's being busy with important stuff.
Like attempting to read a book and eat a chicken at the same time.
Now I just remembered which hand is holding which. We return yet again to the island of not Sandwich, but Starachus. The land of purple worms, of cannibalistic gnomes and goblins that somehow incorporated some gnolls into their tribes at some point. Of settlements made out of corrugated iron and scrap metal. Of dust storms. And for some strange reason, cinnamon water that one particular dove now craves. Even though it's been a few years since that encounter. So we settle on the major settlement of Starachus. A scrap heap that really doesn't have a name. Because it doesn't need a name. It's the major airship harbour of the islands. And there, approaching opening time for at least inspection, is the Sleepwell's first establishment on Starachus. The nighttime restaurant called Hooters. Don't get too excited. It's mainly called Hooters because the many points strict for the staff because it's nighttime and strict are naturally nocturnal. Randall's excuse, who knows?
Crandall has very little concept of time.
Crandall doesn't do anything normally.
Crandall would punch an alarm clock if it even dared to make a noise in his direction.
He goes through like 7 a week.
So part of Olympus.
I'd be surprised if it was more than 7.
So as part of Olympus's most worst duty was being Crandall's alarm clock for a week.
Ow. Ow, ow.
That's just the noise you made to wake him up.
Good morning, sir. Here's your protein shake. And here's a steak for my eye.
The best way to make a protein shake is to have Amir hold it and then have Crandall bench press him.
And we know who on this rather be bench pressed by, but that's never going to happen.
He can dream.
So, Chifross, you pretty much stand in the middle of the restaurant customer floor, going over the letter yet again that puts you in this mess. It's a message from your father. He was so overjoyed about your from your letter from Helga. He gave you this duty to do. One you found you couldn't refuse. For whatever particular reasons. It's
Like hell if I didn't try to refuse this one, though.
You managed to hold it off for about a week, and then it was he started putting out the big guns. So you're pretty much in the final hours of preparation before the inspector turns up. We will give you the pass for the place to open, or shut you down even before you have a chance to start. And Daddy Dearest has made it very clear that place better open or else.
I am still tempted. If this all blows up in face, it ends quickly. They pull over the checklist of things that need to actually be done to make sure we open. I would assume I've made a checklist of this stuff by now.
It's a fairly sensible checklist. It's the one you've been prepping for yourself. In case of just making sure the pantry's well stocked. You discovered that, yes, the pantry is well stocked because you opened the door and took a step inside. You discovered why the Sleepwell restaurants never run out of food. They apparently made a deal with some magical force out there where all the pantries of their restaurants lead to the same place, to a vast food storage where anything and everything can be found. It's basically their endless warehouse.
Is there a box in there?
Many boxes.
But is there one specific box?
It's a box shuffled around, sound going do 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 do. That's the one employee who got stuck in there and has been unable to get out ever since.
Speaking of employees, how many do I have to work with?
You have 10 employees. 8 of them Strig. Basically 4 holding up the floor. The other 4 in the kitchen. And then there's a couple of locals also to help out, and it's that's where the fun comes in. One's a desert gnome called Whoopi. And another is a dust goblin, who, as far as you figure, their name translates as "in your face."
Okay, who among my employees has experience in a restaurant?
About a good third of them. Many of them are early starters. And majorly, Whoopi and In Your Face do have restaurant experience. They at least wait to take your order before biting you in the nose for making requests for modifications to the meal that aren't allowed in the first place.
Well, that's just policy.
Yes.
But let's see. Okay, so they are okay. We've got at least waiters and some cook staff. Do I have anybody who's been the host or hostess before?
Raises a wing. This will only go positively.
Oh, you do that, but you pass it on the soda, and there's a 6-foot strig, basically with the colourings of a barn owl, called Shana. She gives you what you think is a flirtatious wink. And she basically runs through all the procedures of being going through, making sure everything's cleaned, everything's in its place, all the foods, the menus are all set up, present and correct.
Also, who came up with this
lady.
menu?
Pardon?
Who came up with the menu? Who is the chef I have to strangle later in the night?
That you find out is one of the owls called Rodney.
And so I take it this is going to be as close to the typical like Fridays and Hooters and Chili's and all that
Oh yeah.
type of fare, except we're actually going to cook the food instead of just microwaving the frozen stuff.
Yes.
I may have been thinking it.
So I have a hostess to get people to the right seats. I have a couple of wait staff. I have people in the kitchen. How much experience do the people in the kitchen have?
Passable.
Passable. I still think I'm probably going to be spending most of my time back there this night. That is my area of expertise. Although I imagine I can actually talk to the guests if I actually have to. I do have 20 goddamn charisma. Okay. Everyone on staff. Does anyone not know their job?
At this point, Whoopi puts his hand up, gets it slapped down by Shana, who gets a finger waggled at them, and basically told, stop playing around, you know what you're doing.
If there is question, let's make sure now rather than figuring it out later.
The collective staff put their hands up.
So nobody knows what their job is? This is going to be fun. Okay. Well, let's see. You, the 6-foot, this tunnel with that look like barn owl. You are host. Have you done host work before?
Oh yes. It's not the problem with that we haven't following in our roles. We know what we're doing. I've made sure everyone knows what they're doing. It's just that the bosses have made the standards rather high.
They've made standards rather high. I have not seen these standards yet. This letter is really freaking long. Okay. What's the problem?
Something about making sure. See, basically gives a long list of standards that are impossible to maintain on Staracus. Because one, they don't have any fireplaces for obvious reasons. The issues with sand is generally dealt with, but the bit about earth and dirt has been trodden in is something they're not going to be able to stop. It's a load of things where this can't be helped. This is Staracus. On a bad day, you get eaten by a purple worm. On a good day, you've just been chased by the local cannibals.
Do we have peanuts and shell handy?
It's at this point in your face. Goes, hey, and holds up the peanut bowl.
I mean, do we have lots of peanuts and shell?
And at this point, in your face goes Wallot with a big sack of peanuts from Whoopi.
Okay, first plan to deal with standards of dirt and crime. We are going to institute a rather strange policy, but this will also help out in a few other ways. I've seen it at other restaurants. Every table is going to get a basically large bowl of peanuts in shell, and we will encourage them to eat the peanuts and throw shells on floor, and we will just clean up often enough. This has a few side benefits, which we will probably get into during the course of the night.
So that also comes up with a second point. That's the standards and of your boss. But another question, personal question. It's a little blackbird single.
It's the little blackbird single. Well, Omnius, are you single?
Yes.
Let's put it this way. Shana could be the sister of Crandall. She could bench press you easily.
This is good.
At this point, your wing is pretty much grabbed and yell with me, little man.
Omnius is perfectly okay with this.
I will have to say, due to... Wait a minute. What type of health codes do we deal with in this place?
That's where you get a collective shrug and what's a health code?
Fair enough. Still try to avoid public displays of affection if you can. Please. Customers tend to complain if they see things like that.
Oh, she parts ominous on the sword and I'll keep things professional up front.
Death by snoo snoo. Death by snoo snoo.
Okay, how long do we have until the opening?
You have but an hour or so. However, before you get the chance, there's a banging on the door.
Everyone else is ready with the prep of the day. They know what they're doing. Or so they said. I've been checking everything else I can. I better go get the door.
Also, just because it hasn't been confirmed yet, Lantern, who have you brought to this madness? My mother was a saint. Also, so it's Lantern preparing pudding. Oki-san preparing pudding. That answers that. It also works into a bit I want to do probably in the second bit. So, Chifross, you open the door and you are greeted by a very unwanted sight. 5'2", dressed in the green shirt, yellow trousers, boots. Having been just tapping the front door, but it's been enough to put some major dents into it. You are greeted by the simian sight of Sun Wukong.
Okay, why are you here?
Somehow, my old mucker, we have come to this island by mistake, and the master has insisted I come beg some rice.
Some rice. How much is some?
Says this pixie we're talking about a metric ton.
Let's see. Do you have any way to carry a metric ton of rice?
Just watch me.
I mean, we do have the endless warehouse, storehouse of food.
Plus, it is
I
Sun
don't
Wukong.
care if this place goes bankrupt. Okay.
You simply do
let's-
not say no to Sun Wukong.
Plenty of people.
You can be annoyed with him, though.
Plenty of people have said no to Sun Wukong.
And those people are either dead or very, very hurt.
Or been converted to Buddhism.
Or that. Moral of the story, don't say no to Sun Wukong. It's easier to just give him what he wants.
So I look around the restaurant. Is anyone done with prep and is just kind of waiting for restaurant to open?
There's a point in your face of Whoopi going, hey, 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 hey.
Okay, this gentleman needs help getting some rice. If you could accompany him to the storage, and if you could accompany him to the storage and help him get the rice he needs.
Well, most courtesies are, sir, and probably the two most troublesome elements of your crew, cooking crew, restaurant crew even, and Sun Wukong disappearing into the pantry.
Hey, Oko-san, you ever heard of rice pudding?
Son is not here right now.
Darn.
He is not visibly here.
We hear him behind the walls or something.
He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn walls.
As far as Chifross knows, he came here without Okasan.
Fair enough.
And I don't think Chifross has noticed the muffled mumbling yet, because he's been busy.
Omnis is pointedly ignoring the muffled noises. If I ignore it, it'll go away, probably.
How has that worked out for him in the past? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, not well at all.
Okay, just checking.
But maybe it'll work this time.
Really, I thought his attention was more down on his work colleague. And of course, that's the time he has to go mute.
Apologies, I was moving.
Oh dear.
Say again?
And of course, I'm always betting you're a bit distracted by your work colleague.
Yes. Yes, he is.
So how much of her instructions on you basically become her number one to general house duties on meeting, greeting, showing people about, basically what particular way to yell at the waiting staff to get them to take orders.
Yeah. Maybe I can finally use my 16 charisma for something.
And by the way, am making a sign that said request for modification to menu items may result in physical harm.
That won't stop them. Trust
That
me.
won't stop them, but it will keep us from a lawsuit. I know it won't stop them, but I'm putting the sign up so they can't say they weren't warned.
Have we 86'd Mahi Mahi yet?
I don't even think we had Mahi Mahi to begin with.
What is on the menu?
Have you ever been to Applebee's, Fridays, Chili's, Hooters?
I get the picture.
A lot of comfort foods in there.
Is there a bar?
In this place.
Fair enough.
I want to say there better be at least something in the way of alcohol here, or else my family that set this up screwed up horribly.
There is a little corner for selling of alcohol. It's yet again like they have the endless pantry, they have the endless liquor cabinet.
Which is kept under very strict. Only one person or two people have the authority to enter that particular door.
It's
I
also
could open it.
It's also what you notice around the cabinet. You notice something you damn well know your family should not have access to. Because they're in a triple thick container oozing purple fumes was one of the latest versions of Snorri's special brew.
Do they actually think this will sell? Do they think people drink this? We use this for industrial solvent.
It's almost capable of undoing the universal glue. I say almost.
It doesn't undo sovereign glue. It just melts whatever the sovereign glue was holding. On both sides.
Mental note to self. Steal this before session is over.
So if anybody drinks this, they will probably die.
And if Snorri finds out you ever got a hold of it.
Mental
if Snorri
note to
finds
self.
out we get the hold of this, I am telling him that my family set this up and I had nothing to do with it.
Follow-up mental note to self. Give to Crandall.
Oh, dear God.
Crandall doesn't drink, though.
Tell him it's an energy drink or something. I don't know.
Look, he's dumb, he's stupid, but he does have at least a twinge of survival instinct somewhere hiding inside that head of his.
Yeah.
He does not drink things that bleed purple smoke.
Not for a good reason, maybe. And even for him, it has to be a very good reason.
So we definitely have illegal. We definitely have illegal items here. This is fine. I doubt law enforcement is going to care much, but I will have to let Snorri know about this and see if he's missing a lot of his reserve. Because if we have multiple barrels of this scattered across realm, we may have disaster on hands.
So,
Better plan. Let's snark mode.
who is the best person to tell Snorri? Who the fuck knows?
Oh, not to tell Snorri to fix the problem without Snorri finding out.
A new
If we tell
quest
Snark,
for
do you think
Oko-san.
Snark is going to want to let Snorri know about this?
Suddenly, Snorri disappears from the guild and along with the rat folk in tow, because they have entered in a joint venture, and hence why before he didn't issue the purple smoke. Ever since the rat folk became involved, it did. Then made it more concentrated.
We nearly have 200 proof.
It's enough to melt your nose hairs. If it wasn't already out to begin with. So, the hour ticks on. There is actually a clockwork clock in there. Everyone hates it because it's loud and you can hear it going tick, 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 tick in the background. Folks are setting up. All the peanuts have been set into place. Bread rolls set up. Set up glasses, cutlery. You maybe hear a bit of giggling from bird-related nonsense every time a certain pair are out of sight.
Out of sight, out of mind.
But
Best
not
for
out
mental
of
health.
earshot.
Best for mental health. The sound of clock will drown you out, I hope. And sound of crowd.
If you hear a cuckoo bird singing, and it's not on the hour,
It's a clock. It will be the clock. It will always be the clock.
we'll save that for Raven After Dark.
Oh God, I'm not giving Ominous a harem.
He doesn't need a harem. He would like a harem.
He's more like to get haremed.
Yeah,
Look, as soon as they find out about his death, they split, I would imagine.
he is an adept liar.
Question: is he currently carrying Deeper Purple on him?
Currently carrying what now?
The book, A Deeper Purple, the romance stories involving Lady Kiki.
I'm going to go with no.
Curses!
Because that's something he's going to leave in his room.
That's his bunk time.
That's the time he gets to spend some fluffy time with his crush. Well, time ticks on, comes opening time. And then, for some reason, they pick up cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo at the opening time of 8 o'clock. Shana is there to open the door. She stretches up a few feathers. There's a small crowd waiting outside. Some Chifross will remember, for better or for worse, one being the night hag, the Duchess, who currently has a imp resting upon her shoulder. The one that Okasan tried to steal back in the day. By her side, and the two glaring at each other with Case of, we're going to be civil, but I don't have to like you. Is Tim, the scrapyard shaman, a rusty-coloured kobold who has come in its best scrap armour. The rest are the usual run-of-the-mill citizens of Starakis who come and go. Me and myself, elves, or orcs, dwarves. Basically, any of the sailors who come by the ships. This is the intended audience. However, you notice, dressed in a dress uniform over male armor, is a 7-foot tall hippo person with a musket strapped to their side. Slowly, each one are led in. There have been some advanced bookings. The Duchess and Tim are apparently sharing a table. Something about a blind date.
I will not judge. Anyways, a giant hippo. Let me show you to your... Okay, I gotta check the reservation. What's the reservation name?
Ah, good sir. I am Jeremy Horatio Winchester the 17th.
All right, let me show you to your table.
Good show, good show.
Omnius is going to take the large hippo to whichever, table 17.
Jeremy Horatio the Winchester has had table 17 reserved, like so many of the others.
Table 17.
Table 17. Table 17. There we go.
Okay, how many reservations we have tonight?
You've had 10 reservations. The rest in about 5 small groups. Jeremy Horatio Winchester is the only solo reservation. And yes, that is how he's going to be referred to every bloody time.
As he should, as someone of his high stature.
The high stature of a GIF in the GIF armada of being a black powder cleric.
Gotta love explosive hippos.
You do notice we're an amulet of basically being of a walrus head hanging around his neck.
That's wildly unsanitary, but okay.
In this place?
Jeremy Horatio Winchester notices you note his amulet of the walrus. It's basically a bronze doll piece, not an actual walrus head. You then get a spiel on the glory of Lord Heinemann and why life is improved no matter what with a big boom.
Omnius is just nodding along. Just like, I care about everything that you're saying right now. Please give me money.
You set him down at your table, you try to leave, but he keeps grabbing you because he's not done with his spiel yet.
All right.
Is,
Chifross, you're on your own for at least the next 30 minutes.
Oh, like hell I am. Is everything okay over here, sir?
gotcha. I am. Everything's just tippity boo. I am just enlightening your employee here with the graces of Lord Hyman and the glory that is the big boom.
Well, I'm sure this would be a most enlightening speech, but he does have job to do.
Oh, how rude of me! My apologies. Please, sir, oh, forgive me and let me return to your duties. My apologies for delaying you. Here, have a silver piece for delaying you.
Omnius takes the coin, bows, not mockingly, but dramatically, and then walks back over to the host stand.
All right, and I'm sure your waiter will be with you very shortly. And I go to just kind of milling around the place, just kind of monitoring situations, floating between the floor and the kitchen, and, you know.
Things seem to be going well enough at the moment. There's some yelling in the back, yelling going on between the cooking staff, but that's normal. Well, you think it's normal.
It's not a proper kitchen unless there's at least two people yelling at each other at all times.
And someone yelling abuse at the waiting staff.
I mean, they've got to be yelling just because the sound of things sizzling and all that is loud enough. You got to speak over it to begin with.
Also, the Duchess and Tim, they're either having a public row or having a very enjoyable date. You can't tell which.
I better go actually pay attention to this and make sure they're not about to break out to a fist fight in the middle of the floor.
It's then Shana taps you on your shoulder and points you towards the doorway. There comes the guest of honor. The one who decides if this place fails or flies. The inspector in the uniform coats, the clipboard. One Sir Ramsay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
And
You know the Kool-Aid Man busting through the wall right about now would be a welcome distraction.
and
would also immediately get us shut down.
Probably, but at least I would make this over quickly.
And on this, we shall bring this first part to a close. Because cliffhangers, baby.
Woohoo.
So, come back for part 2. When I've actually decided on a title for this. So, later, folks.
Take care, everyone.
See ya.